Hey, what's up, guys? This is MugenLord here, and today we're going to talk about Funimation and Crunchyroll. That's something that we haven't talked about ever here on this channel, but I thought it was important to even bring this up into discussion as far as the whole digital era that we're moving into, where everything is going digital from streaming into our video game library, the whole nine yards. We've been talking about 2024 is going to be quite an interesting year when it comes to digital content and also AI itself. So, what's up with Funimation and Crunchyroll? Well, apparently that there's going to be a merger between the two, and anime fans are going to lose their digital copies once this merger happens, because it will no longer be called Funimation. It will just be called Crunchyroll. So whatever libraries that people had purchased from Funimation would not carry over to this new merger. So they essentially lose everything, which got a lot of anime fans upset. So I definitely want to leave my thoughts on this and want to hear your opinions on this topic as well. So before we dive into the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. Now we're going to dive into it because recently, or I wouldn't say recently, a couple months ago, we talked about what happened when it came to mergers with Warner Brothers Studios and Discovery, and many Sony fans who purchased movies from Warner Brothers on their PlayStation 5 have lost their entire library. I mean, they lost everything when they made the announcement that, once the merger happened with Discovery and Warner Brothers, that they were going to pull away and head over to their own service, which left Sony out in the dark and pretty much had to remove because the negotiations completely changed. And this is why this is dangerous if you're relying strictly on digital services. So we're going to go to an article from IGN where they discuss the whole situation that's going on here. And this is, wow, this is crazy. This is quite crazy. So it says anime fans frustrated as Funimation digital copies won't move to Crunchyroll. Sounds fun, doesn't it? So it says anime fans have expressed frustrations online after Crunchyroll announced it won't grant users access to Funimation digital copies when the two streaming services merge fully. And I keep saying this. See, the thing is, when contracts are made with certain companies, they abide by those contracts. They acknowledge those contracts. But things can change once mergers happen, because once a merger happens, it's no longer the same company. It's a totally different entity or whatever. Now, that company can decide whether or not they want to pretty much acknowledge the contract that was set in place before the merger. But 9 times out of 10, most of the time it never happens, especially if they plan on having services of their own. And this is what we see here. But let's move on. It says Crunchyroll's guide explaining the merger, which we'll see Funimation's fully absorbed on April 2nd, 2024, 2 years after it was announced in March 2022. Makes the lack of digital copy and transferring clear. Now, I quote, "We understand that you may have concerns about your digital copies from Funimation," Crunchyroll said. "Please note that Crunchyroll does not currently support Funimation digital copies, which means that access to previous available digital copies will not be supported." And the thing is, they're saying it with confidence. They're really saying this with confidence that, you just ass out of luck. Now, to force them to be able to implement this, then fans better not subscribe to Crunchyroll. They better not subscribe to them at all. After they just told them to their face that, oh well, you won't be able to play your copies that you have from Funimation's onto this new platform that we have now that we merge and are being called, still keeping the name Crunchyroll. They're telling you this to your face, that you're just ass out of luck. They will be able to reverse that, because it's not like it's impossible that they can't make the digital copies from Funimation work over to Crunchyroll. It's not like they can't do it. But in order for them to switch their attitudes, no one should subscribe to the Crunchyroll. They should not subscribe to it at all. And they would switch that decision right away. I guarantee you that's what would happen. But I digress. However, we are continuously working to enhance our content offerings and provide you with an exceptional anime service streaming experience. We appreciate your understanding and encourage you to explore the extensive anime library available on Crunchyroll. So they're saying like, oh well, your ass out of luck, but guess what? Check out these services that we got. Why don't you check out what we got over here? Subscribe to this. And now they can pretty much up the prices to their subscription service. They can do anything that they want. Now this merger went through. So you're saying that your ass out of luck, but hey, why don't you put money into this? We got an extensive library, we got new features and everything. Try this out. That's what they're telling you. So it says anime fans haven't responded particularly well to this news, taking to social media to share their frustrations. Digital is rental. Example, 2,371 said, does it play on X and Twitter? Stop paying for streaming media. Added Espos Fox. Buy things you actually own. Another quote, it was nice to have them. I'm glad I invested in the physical version of these shows. I would not be switching to Crunchyroll after the shutdown, said Lucian B. Vash. It said there are some caveats to this. However, that point to issues with Funimation original system more than Crunchyroll's absorption of the company. Funimation is primarily a streaming website that doesn't allow users to purchase individual anime series. Digital copies were a promotion made available through the purchasing of the physical DVD or Blu-ray disc, meaning a digital copy of on Funimation's was only available to those who already owned the anime on disc. Users could not purchase digital versions of anime directly from Funimation's the same way Prime Video, for example, offers both streaming and digital purchases as separate products. Fans have criticized Funimation's digital copies promotions for years too, as it doesn't give them digital ownership of the series, but instead allows them to stream it without signing for the Funimation's premium subscription. A Funimation account and online connection are still required. And then you also have to be connected online in order to be able to have access to it, which also sucks. You don't own it. You don't own anything. I keep telling people about this digital stuff. This is why I hate it. You know, it should be a compliment to physical media. And it just baffles me how so many people still advocate that going digital is the best route you can possibly go when you constantly keep seeing examples like this. People spend hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars, you know, on digital media just for something like this to happen. And then the company tell you, oh, well, you know, you just shit out of luck as long as you just come over here instead and put money into this, which I keep saying, continue to collect physical media. You have to, because in situations like this, Funimation users will need to make the decision to transfer to Crunchyroll or lose access to anime streaming by April 2nd. Crunchyroll is otherwise home of thousands of hours of anime and is the largest home of simulcast, meaning anime that arrives in the West as soon as it released in Japan. And this is the problem when you have one company. One company has a monopoly over anime, such as Crunchyroll. And since they're one, it's only one, they can dictate prices, they can dictate everything. And the thing is, if you're not an avid fan, you're just a normie of anime, and you just want to watch anime, you're going to buy into this service because you don't think nothing of it. Like I said before, a lot of normies don't know that this is going on. Only the people that's invested in this understand the dangers of this. You know, so but the normies outnumber the avid fans. The normies just want to come in and just consume and, you know, just enjoy themselves. So they don't know any of this that's going on. So they're going to buy into this or whatever. But the goal is to try to let people know that this is what is going on, you know, every day in this industry, or whether it's entertainment, you know, of course, video games, anime, you name it, when it comes to this all digital streaming service. It said the issues of digital rights is one of the hottest topics within entertainment, and in particular in video games, where downloads have become the prominent portion of game sales for many companies. Last year, huge leak revealed that Microsoft alleged plan to launch a digital-only mid-generation console refresh of the Xbox Series X and S. In October, Ubisoft executive admitted that physical sales will get even lower, and we talked about that in the video with Ubisoft. Like I said, he told you that, you know, essentially that you better get used to not owning your games once we go to the subscription service. And that's what we're going to start seeing. But it's something I wanted to point out from a Twitter user, Epos Vox. He pretty much gave his opinion and just a lowdown what's going on. It says, Crunchyroll is shutting down the Funimation streaming service and deleting everyone's purchased copies of stuff, while also hiking up their own prices, which I said before. That's what they're doing. Oh, well, you're shit out of luck, but hey, try out these services. And since they're pretty much the arbiter, they're the biggest anime streaming platform right now, so they can hike up the prices and you have no other alternatives. Buy things you actually own or get it elsewhere. And this is pretty much what we've seen from the website that we just talked about from IGN. And then, of course, we have Culture Crave. Funimation will shut down and officially merge with Crunchyroll on April 2nd. Watch History and Q can migrate over. Digital purchases on Funimation won't be supported. Pricing increased to $100 a year in 2025. So they're hiking up their prices. And this is what I keep talking about. And it still baffles me that people still push, that there's people out there that still push saying, hey, this is like, you got to get used to it. This is the digital era. Everybody's going digital. And I keep saying that, no, man, like, we can't get rid of physical. So I advise all you guys, if you into anime, you into video games, collect as much physical media as possible. Own your games. Keep your collection. Because this is where we're going. And like I said in my last video with Microsoft also knew this. This is why they pushing emphasis on Game Pass and everything. We in the era of subscription services, streaming services. This is what's going on. This is why you're starting to see these different platforms like Discovery and Warner Brothers. They merging together. And they got the Discovery a streaming service where you that's where you get all the Warner Brothers films from. Like I said, we also have Disney Plus. We have Netflix, in which Netflix kicked off this entire thing when it comes to streaming services. So we're gonna have streaming services everywhere, and this stuff's gonna cost a lot of money. How would you better keep up with all these different platforms? Where, hey, I want to better watch this, but I have to subscribe to that. But I do want to watch this, so I want to subscribe to that. It's getting more expensive than cable itself. Like, hearing the word cable now, it just sounds so foreign. It sounds so prehistoric now, because no one is really engaging and really putting money into cable. What do you need cable for when you got all these different streaming platforms to better watch the shows that you want to enjoy and consume, So it is a bummer towards the, Crunchyroll and Funimation fans, especially Funimation side, who spent a lot of money on their collection just for them to, pretty much say, hey, your services won't, move over, and we're going to hike the prices up. So in order for them to change their tune, do not subscribe to Crunchyroll at all once this merger happens. Don't subscribe to it. I guarantee you, if you don't subscribe to it, they will change their tune. They will somehow flip the switch on, and your Funimation library will come right back. Just don't subscribe to it. That's all. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this all digital era, this Funimation and Crunchyroll merger that's pretty much destroying people's Funimation collection? And now Funimation is saying that screw you, just spend some money over here on Crunchyroll, and while we raise the prices up to $100 a year in 2025. So what are your thoughts on it? Were you a subscriber of Funimation's? If you are, I definitely want to hear your experience and what you think about this as well. I think it's very important when we hear from people who's actually in this situation, so you get a better insight of going on. Because since I'm just a spectator, I don't have a subscription with Funimation at all or whatever like that. So I don't really know the insides of all this. But if somebody does and experiencing this right now, it would definitely help in the comment sections below to let people know. And I'll actually pin it so people would actually see the comment as well. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more anime and gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.